name is Oswald Avila, and I'm a seminarian studying for the Archdiocese of Chicago at St. Joseph College Seminary. If there was one priest that I had to single out as truly influential in my vocation story, it would be Father Larry Craig. My vocation story started at my home parish, where I had the influence of a very powerful priest, Father Larry Craig. Father Larry started the prison ministries of the Archdiocese of Chicago, Kobe House Ministries. And this is a ministry that ministers to those who have just come out of jail as well as those who are still in jail, and brings them back into the parish community, back into a parish context that helps them become active members of society again, be able to contribute to the society and not re-enter the cycle of violence and crime. And this ministry, this working with these people that most of us have neglected, have ignored, was a really powerful witness to me of the love of Christ, the way that priests ought to serve the people of God in a radical way, a way that others turn their heads at. And it was under that powerful symbol, that role model, that ideal of priesthood, that I began to discern a call to the priesthood, a call to follow in Father Larry's footsteps, and really love the people of God, no matter who they are, so that they can, in turn, love God themselves. After many years of serving the incarcerated, their families, and the people of my parish, unfortunately Father Larry passed away when I was in 7th grade. But from his wake, there's one story that I remember as being really powerful and a true witness of his love for the people. And it was near the end of the wake, an older man came in who was clearly homeless, had all his bags with him, and he left his bags at the door. And he walked up the center aisle. The church at this point was fairly empty, so he was alone walking up, and he knelt in front of the coffin and said some prayers, said some words there at the foot of Father Larry. And it was clear that Father Larry had touched this man in some way. Something had happened, and Father Larry was there for him. None of us knew who this man was. None of us had ever seen him again. But at that moment, we realized that Father Larry's ministry, whether it be with the incarcerated or with this man, was profound, and it really helped people find God and feel loved.
I'm Adam Gonzalez. I am a freshman at St. Joseph College Seminary. Out of all the priests that influenced my vocation, Father Mike Ferlin really encouraged me to discern priesthood. My vocation story really picks up my freshman year. I had always had this thought in the back of my mind about priesthood, but Father Mike Ferlin saw something special in me, and I think he called out my vocation before I knew that I was being called to the priesthood. And he helped me to foster and grow it just through his example and through his encouragement, because discerning a vocation is something that's hard. It's something that everyone goes through, but it can be difficult at times. So to have Father Mike Ferlin there with me to help me along the way was a big help, and he helped me when I applied to the Quigley Scholars Program and when I applied to St. Joseph College Seminary.
The one thing, I want to say that Adam didn't mention is, he talked about all of those different ministries that he had been involved in. But he not only did those things that everyone who is an extraordinary minister of communion does, or everyone who's a server does, but there were little added dimensions that Adam would bring to those ministries. He mentioned our late pastor emeritus. And, I knew if Adam was serving a Mass or working on a Mass, either as a proclaimer or a minister of communion or whatever, that I didn't have to worry about Father Godert's weakness that was coming on, that Adam would kind of cover things. He'd do the little extra stuff and make sure that it went well and it went easily for our pastor emeritus as his health declined. It's those little touches, the added consideration that he was showing in exercising whatever ministry it was, things that aren't in the book, things that are in the heart. And Adam brought that there. And I think that's an important part of what led him to say, there is more that I can offer.
My name is Theo McManigal. I'm a sophomore at St. Joseph College Seminary. Of all the priests who have been influential in my decision to discern priesthood. One of them is my pastor at Our Lady of the Ridge Parish, Father Wayne Svita. And since junior year, I've thought about being a priest every day. And so one of the first things I did was to talk to as many influential people I could. That included my parents and all the important priests that I knew in my life. Certainly my pastor, Father Wayne, was one of them. For any young man who is discerning the call to be a priest, I would advise him very strongly to talk about it with other people who are important in his life, whether it be his pastor or any other priest he knows, his parents certainly, some of his friends. When you discern a call, you do it in community. You can't do it by yourself because God calls you and the church calls you. In order for the church to call you, they have to get to know you. They have to know that you are interested in being a priest. That was the most important thing that I did when I first started discerning the priesthood. I made it a point to talk to priests that I knew and ask them if they think I would be a good priest.
If I had to give one piece of advice to a man discerning the priesthood, it would be to remember that the man who's there on Sundays, celebrating the Mass for you, has given his entire life for the ministry of God's people. He's given all that he has to love and serve God. If you feel called, if you have the question in your heart of whether you're called to this ministry, take it seriously. Truly discern it. Go talk to somebody. Go talk to that very priest who's there to serve you. If you have the question, go find yourself an answer.
To Father Mike and to any other priests who are wondering who will fill my shoes, I want to fill your shoes.